How Women Get Brainwashed. Chapter 1. Women are brainwashed flakes. Women buy into this phony, frivolous junk. Mostly women write love and sex books. Having scanned at least 100 of them, I've come to the conclusion that they're not bad per se. It's just that they contain a lot of gloss and glitter without honest substance backing them up. They offer plenty of discreet, one-liner advice but don't get to the heart of the matter because, I suspect, they are simply not brave or wise enough to probe their own lives as naked souls to see what's really in there. Instead, they just play it safe by parroting what they read in each other's books, in frivolous women's magazines and on TV talk shows. Unlike men who are mostly straight shooters and try to get to a point, women are more flowery, roundabout, and write love and sex books like frivolous women's magazines, with no clear distinction between knowledge, wisdom, glamour, gossip, pop culture entertainment, fantasy, cosmetics, fashions, PMS or the culture of beauty and vanity. They assume everybody else lives in this same mainstream culturally indoctrinated headspace and don't realize many people don't bother with pop culture entertainment or want to be part of it. To me personally, it's an insult to my dignity. I don't want it polluting my pure essence as a human being. I choose to spend my time focusing on my life, my needs and desires, yet most girls in Western societies have been brainwashed by pop culture entertainment, the cult of celebrity and the phony glamour of cosmetics commercials. I feel this is one of the great chasms of differences between men and women. Real men are trying to achieve something. Virtually all women, even the most serious-minded, seem to buy into this frivolous, pop culture commercialized, phony glamour headspace that's out there. I've met a lot of professional women with colored hair. That's a sin in the first place because if you were really wise, you would know how stupid it is to do something as meaningless as coloring your hair to try to enhance your look. And then when they start talking, they're spewing off pop culture's names as if I know these people in pop culture land. It's all meshed together as a cutsy kind of girly talk which a lot of guys can't stand because it's not function. They read for a reason, to try to find a specific answer and solve their problem, to help them get from point A to point B to accomplish their current mission. They don't want all this idle, chattery pop culture gossip getting in the way mixed in with the knowledge. This way of thinking is the result of the phony, gimmicky world of glamour created by the commercial media, the entertainment industry and the cosmetics and fashion industries. Women think it makes them look cool to imitate this stuff. Enlightened guys think if you're that weak to fall for it, you're not a strong, high-quality individual. So as far as looking for a wife goes, the more frivolous and trendy a girl is, the more she might be an apparent easy target for a casual sex encounter, but the lower her chances are for having the stellar qualities a high-quality guy would want in a woman. This is the big lie. TV commercials and stupid TV shows tell you to color your hair, make your lashes look fabulous, wear easy breezy cool, cover girl lipstick, buy 200 pair of shoes because some chick on a TV show playing the role of a happening babe did, act all cute, trendy, and frivolous, in order to attract guys, but contrary to what these corporate forces tell you about all this stuff making you look cool and fabulous, it really makes you look like a vain, pompous, brainwashed, frivolous clone without an identity of your own. Glamour is a synonym for fake elitism. You're trying to portray the image that you're superior to all the normal plebeians out there who aren't as advanced, beautiful, sophisticated or chic as you are in a frivolous way, and you're doing all this while we're all consciously aware that there are kids starving in Africa somewhere. Why would anybody looking for love try to come off as a cold, arrogant, uppity bitch, which is how glamour makes you look, like somebody who thinks they're better than everyone else, who has nothing better to do than to stand around giving off pouty expressions, trying to get other people to be impressed by the clothes you're wearing and how chic you look. It's great to feel superior, but keep it to yourself, or better still, show it by doing something good for the world. If you try to openly come off like a so-called diva with the clothes you wear and the attitude you give off, you violate one of the fundamental laws of winning friends and influencing people. Don't act egotistical and conceited unless you want to end up alone. The more natural you are and the less pretense you have covering you over, the more people will like you. Enlightened minds see through the crap. The hair color or the trendy clothes don't make you look glamorous. They make you look phony and presumptuous. It's like, why are you denying the real you? Why can't you just be the way your God created you? Contrary to the phony myth that guys are not emotionally sensitive, the truth is that they are human beings created by the same God that women were created by. They have a built-in radar just like women do. They know what a woman of substance being herself is as opposed to some manufactured, pop culture clone. The corporations can advertise all they want, they can't defeat primal intuition, which is what most men have. They know that a spade will always be a spade. Even as far back as the story of Moses, when he was a fugitive in the desert, the chief's daughters were trying to impress him by being glamorous and flighty, but he picked the straight one without makeup who was more natural and real because he was intuitively attracted to the purity and substance he sensed about her. Facial beauty and bodily beauty are one thing, but without this inner, spiritual aesthetic kind of beauty, they are useless. It's like a china doll, beautiful on the outside, empty on the inside. A woman being real with a natural kind of inspired energy and sensuality to her will attract real men of substance way more than some chick trying to imitate what she saw on a TV show mixed in with those hair coloring ads where the frivolous babes are exclaiming how worth it they are. The pop culture, trendy girl full of image. Men are looking for somebody natural, beautiful, happy with her life being herself, not some skank who looks and acts like a walking caricature of the ads in frivolous women's magazines. Real men, or at least men like me, aren't particularly attracted to girls manufactured by the system to present themselves as what amounts to an image as opposed to who they really are. It's easy to spot who's real and natural as opposed to someone living out some delusion she borrowed from a hair coloring TV commercial. This is the big lie or the big rift. Men want somebody real and natural, but the clothing, cosmetics, hair coloring and frivolous media industries, as with women's TV shows and most women's magazines, are presenting a fake image for you geared for one thing, to suck you out of your money in the mistaken belief that you're being cool and trendy by buying into the lifestyle they're trying to sell you. Girls don't like it when I say glamour is a fake term created by the entertainment industry to sell you this delusion of a special feeling because they're trying to make money off you one way or another, when the truth is that you are who you are in your essence. Your base consciousness never changes. You get self-respect through sweat. That's the only real kind of special feeling there is in life, along with love, sex, and recreational substances. None of that crap they're trying to sell you will give it to you, but how many girls own 50 purses and 100 pair of shoes? Middle-aged girls or girls in general don't like it when I snicker at the home decor industry and say it's a con job created by capitalist forces to get them to try to fill up their lost souls with cutesy, useless junk, then tell them get a life and do something intense, original, and inspired, and they might be able to attract a good man who's impressed with who they are and what they're doing, not with the crap they own that they think makes them cool or look cool without actually being cool. Because true cool is living your life as the individual you are. I'm rocking their trivial, little comfort zones that real men of substance can't stand, so I'm telling the truth about why all these brainwashed, pop culture, system clone girls can't attract a man, but they don't like it because deep down they know it's the truth, so they're trying to kill the messenger, me. You can be a pop culture flake all you want and think you're cool cause you're imitating what you saw on some frivolous TV show, but men aren't stupid. They just act that way because it's easier for them to play the role of the dumb, unemotional male stereotype than to bother revealing their true souls through conversation and empathy. The point is that we see through the bull. I know who somebody real is with inner warmth, strength, dignity, and charm, as opposed to some hotshot trendy broad full of herself. The trendier you look, the colder you are. Girls get so brainwashed by the pop culture capitalist sales machine that they think the opposite of the truth is true. Cosmetics, clothing, and hair coloring companies are master marketers, able to manipulate millions of women to buy stuff by appealing to their vanity and insecurities, but consumer goods don't do anything for the real person you are. So when I see someone trying to present an image based on stuff rather than what might be original, inspired and passionate within themselves, I know I'm dealing with another lost soul, and for my standards of true love, I don't want anyone other than somebody. Sincerely being herself without pretense or image. Guys looking for wives are looking for somebody nice, soft, good, kind, natural, unassuming, and modest, not over-made up girls with roots showing through and attitudes they borrowed from manufactured pop stars trying to be bad asses. You can't fool most people. They see through it. Why was there so much contempt for Ms. Hilton when they sent her off to jail? It's because of those hundreds of times before then when she was preening at the camera acting like some superior snobby princess. If you act that way, you'll get the same treatment regardless of where you are. Guys might try to play you for sex because they assume somebody so trendy is liberated enough to be into casual sex, but as far as love goes, forget it. The liberated, middle-aged cougar. Most women in Western countries have been brainwashed by this cutesy glamour world out there to some extent. This is how they think and write, intersprinkling their wisdom with comments about the latest movie star heartthrob or the latest TV show that portrays 30-ish women acting all liberated, trendy and cool, when a guy like me knows it's all self-delusion because I rarely come across single, 30-ish to 40-ish liberated chicks. Maybe they're liberated in the privacy of their own minds or with their girlfriends and in media hype because they've got a professional job and appear successful according to societal standards, but it's not the vibe I get when I'm out there in the public realm if you define liberated as free, easygoing, and open. They're all scared that they're getting older, fatter, and uglier, and maybe they ain't gonna find Mr. Wonderful after all. As a purist with contempt for pop culture entertainment and the one-dimensional, traditional version of the American dream, I quietly judge everyone I come across by how unspoiled, independent, and free they are, as opposed to being pop culture entertainment, capitalist clones. The more you are yourself as an individual, the more I like you. The more you have the trappings of society on you, like hair color, trendy clothes, cool lingo, etc., the more I think you're a brainwashed, polluted person. A good example of this lie or delusion is this image they're promoting out there of over 35-year-old, liberated, trendy women going out freely and easily doing what they want, picking up men and seducing them for fun at will because this is what they really like to do. They are called cougars. This is a great example of how the media can create a lie and make everyone think it's the truth. The truth is that most single 30-ish women are scared as hell that they're getting older, chubbier, more wrinkled and uglier, and might not ever meet that Prince Charming they've been fantasizing about all their lives. There's a term called cognitive dissonance, which refers to a person giving off two conflicting vibes at the same time. On the external end, it's fairly easy to color your hair, wear trendy clothes and lots of makeup to appear trendy to others, but on the inside, most older girls, even the single ones trying to come off as funky, cool, enlightened and liberated, are, for the most part, traditional, conservative, and scared that they will end up alone, as opposed to these images you see on TV about horny, middle-aged housewives acting all flirty or cool, older chicks in NYC going out looking for adventure and fun. Women in general in our society are afraid of men they don't know. That's one part of the vibe they give off, closed, repressed, and cautious. I can't blame them, what with all the crime, creeps and low-level nerds around. If they're not careful, they know that looking for Mr. Goodbar could end up like the movie of a generation ago where the chick gets killed at the end by some guy she met in some bar that she thought was a good time lover. I'm out there in the real world as an observer looking around to see what's happening, and what I sense is the fear of getting older and more unattractive and possibly never meeting Mr. Wonderful to end up alone. In our society, a woman's power is largely in her freshness and beauty. This is the curse that will afflict every woman at some point in time. By about the age of 35, most single women don't have the freshness of look or spirit that young women have. They are jaded and cynical, and it shows. From that point on, most men will not give them the attention and admiration they desire. Contrary to what you see on TV, which is a phony image geared to make money in some way, in the real world, I don't see these cool, older, single chicks having a great, old fun, frivolous time playing the field. I see somber women worried that they're not turning heads anymore, gaining a bit of weight that they want desperately to lose, see all the weight loss ads out there, to get that youthful beauty and spark back, but the greatest desperation is loneliness and the fear of it. There are a lot of wrinkle creams on the market and none of them work. Most women hate being single way more than men, but unlike men, they don't like to play the field, having transient sexual encounters with an endless string of men or even dating a bunch of men in the search for love. I don't believe that very many women are naturally adventurous about life in general. I believe they are homebodies, have a mothering instinct and just want to be with one strong, loving, faithful guy forever for the emotional bond, and that's it. This is the theme of all romance novels and love movies. I've met a few women on the fringes of society who were doing drugs, stripping and cavorting around, but just about all of them except for the few ugly ones I remember who knew they weren't gonna meet some Prince Charming, had this dream of being happily married with a straight-up guy raising kids somewhere. There are many other obvious examples out there of how pop culture indoctrination has given us stupid, meaningless, fake images which the weak among us imitate, thus destroying their purity as human beings, hence, their ability to live by their true natures. Looking for love, pop culture style. As far as looking for love goes, among enlightened people, the pop culture clones are all eliminated right off the bat, so if you're a pop culture clone looking for love with a person of substance, get more real, throw off the images, then maybe you might meet a good, honest, straight human being. When I was younger, not many women colored their hair. If you did, in my town of Halifax, Nova Scotia, Canada, it was looked upon as a sign of trailer trash, that you were cheapening yourself with a stupid gimmick. Noble, cool people satisfied with themselves didn't have a need to do these meaningless things. We were people of function, not frivolity. Times have changed. Nowadays, millions of women color their hair because they think it makes them look glamorous, because blondes supposedly have more fun, because the clever advertising people in the TV commercials tell them they're worth it, while the truth is that coloring your hair makes you look fake and tawdry, like you're not strong enough to be yourself, denying who you are the way your God created you, to be straight, true, and pure, and it also shows that you're spending time concerned about your look. Whereas enlightened people feel good on the inside, which shows on the outside, accept themselves and keep moving with inspired activities in life rather than wasting time doing frivolous things. How about young girls imitating skanky-looking hoes in music videos, thinking this must be what cool, liberated chicks do, but it just gives away the fact that you're an insecure, lost human being, because enlightened people happy with their lives don't need or want to attract attention to themselves by the clothes they wear, the exaggerated sexy looks they give off, or by sexually suggestive postures, because they know this is not how mature people hook up for sex or love. It's an empty, immature kind of vanity. Mature people who are attracted to each other get an intuitive mutual vibe right away when they first see each other. You don't need sexy, trendy clothes to have sexual chemistry with someone. If you're naturally sexy, you don't have to go around with a big sign, slutty clothes, a tongue ring and way too much lipstick, advertising it. You're either naturally sexy and vital by the way you live your life, or you aren't. Other enlightened, sexy people sense it. They know when they come across someone if there's sexual chemistry, regardless of whether the players are married or not. Cutesy, sanitized TV talk show psychobabble. In my opinion, no self-respecting person would go on TV talk shows talking about their problems. Cool, enlightened people wouldn't demean themselves acting like soppy weaklings on any talk show. They would suck it up quietly and keep living. What's the appeal of these shows? I don't get it. Maybe these cornball talk show hosts give you some kind of comfort and regress you back to an earlier, simpler time when you felt that a paternalistic force was somehow watching over you and looking out for your best interests, but we blew that delusion out of the water a long time ago. Ain't no one out for your best interests but you, certainly not the government or anybody in TV land. They're all about aggrandizing their own egos and getting ratings, not about actually helping people. If they were, they would be in another business or in Africa somewhere helping people who really need help. TV is all about the hype of the moment, then when that moment is over, they have to create the next one. And then after the talk shows are over at about 6 o'clock, they blast the mainstream version of the news at us for an hour, which is a bunch of tedious, negative crap, and right after that, they give us those flaky entertainment tabloid shows, trying to hype up all this pop culture entertainment as the cool, happening stuff of the world. Where is the room for living our own lives, thinking our own thoughts, having our own identities, pursuing love and sex beyond the one-dimensional, indoctrinated view? Misery breeds more misery. If you watch that dull, uninspired, phony stuff out there on the psychobabble talk shows regularly, then you deserve your pathetic life. You're a bunch of stupid, miserable, one-dimensional people drowning in psychobabble rather than listening to your true natures, trying to get some joy, bliss, inspiration, and transcendence out of your lives. The purpose of life should be to try to achieve an ecstatic kind of happiness every day, not to live in this generic mundanity promoted by the soppy, psychobabble commercial media. Pop culture entertainment destroys your purity, the simplicity that is your soul, who you are in your essence as a human being, and this is all that really matters in life, to know your true self and honor it, which means to live for your version of what is true, beautiful, good, lusty, loving, fun, and pleasurable. My job in writing this book is to help some of you throw off your indoctrination and make a conscious decision every day for the rest of your life to resist all the psychobabble and pop culture crap you're exposed to as a matter of routine, to find your own true essence as a human being, then honor it all the time. If you live like this, you'll have a better chance to be a great lover, a great hedonist, or whatever it is you want out of life. When you become enlightened and wise, you realize you are nothing more or less than this, and from that point on, you can be free and open enough to be yourself and explore love, sex, and romance matter-of-factly, like it's no big deal, just a natural part of your life, and whatever you do that comes from your soul with consenting adults that doesn't hurt them or infringe on their rights is all good and a natural part of life. The problem is that all the psychobabble and pop culture entertainment out there dances around this basic truth about the human condition by offering you all kinds of one-dimensional, discrete, mechanical knowledge and advice about how to do this or be better at that, without addressing the simplicity and essence that is an enlightened life, an individual knowing who they are and living by it simply and purely. Cultural brainwash clouds you over with illusions and delusions, and until you get strong and real enough to see your life for what it is and live by it, you will continue to be a lost, confused soul continually brainwashed by all this crap out there. If you read this book through, it will help you get an idea of what's inside of you and what's going on out there, and from this, it should lead you closer to who you really are and help you live a more natural life true to yourself rather than being brainwashed by the world. This should help you get closer to realize who you are in the loving, sexual, and romantic sense and bring you closer to living by it. Truly free, liberated people live a lifestyle where they probe their limits and release intense energy to try to reach them. This is the point, to live for the intensity of experience, in the inspired sense for the spirit of life, in the hedonistic sense for the feeling of pleasure, and in the loving sense to try to feel a deep connection with someone else and get it back. It's all part of the mix for a great life. The illusion of glamour. Every generation laughs at the old fashions but blindly follows the new. If fashion is so cool, why do we have to change it every 6 months? Glamour is the land of make-believe, a fantasy the entertainment industry and cosmetics corporations have created to give people a place where they can escape to and dream. But I say, why let them shape your dreams? Create your own without buying into their soppy crap. The illusion of glamour is an industry created by corporate forces, which includes the media as a corporate force, to sell their product, namely magazines, movies, cosmetics, fashionable clothing, TV shows like Entertainment Tonight and the Entertainment Network. It's about egotistical people consciously trying to make themselves feel special by showing other people how trendy, cool, advanced and superior they appear to be by buying into the frivolous world of glitter, i.e., fashion and Hollywood, both overrated products of capitalist hype. The TV networks are affiliated with commercial corporate entities and entertainment companies in megacorporations, so the end result is an extended TV commercial constantly trying to sell their products, all the way from movies to cosmetics, Trying to make you feel inadequate if you don't go to the latest so-called blockbuster, use the latest eyeshadow or aren't up on the latest pop music videos of the month. The whole purpose of the commercial TV networks is to sell their advertising space to get you to buy something, and the way they do this is to either make you feel inadequate like you need something to either make you a better person, get a dose of easy breezy happiness, or to promote coolness, such as with the label Nike, which has become the image of brainwashed cool among the populace. If you're wearing a Nike logo on you somewhere, it supposedly means that you belong to this cool tribe manufactured by the advertising machine of corporation Nike, when the truth is that running shoes and sportswear are all the same with or without a logo that adds 50% to the price because of its supposed cool image. Poor kids watch all those glitzy TV shows and think that's the way everybody else lives, even though most of it is a fantasy far removed from real life. They want that stuff they see on TV, so they end up robbing people just to get their Nike shoes. That's how powerful the brainwashing effect is. These kids want to be part of the cool tribe so much they will steal to try to belong, even though they don't realize cool has nothing to do with what you wear. It's being the best, most original human being you can be with what you got. We often don't even realize how the media has destroyed our souls. A paraplegic I heard on Christian radio said that TV is full of smart Alecs giving sarcastic retorts, putting other people down to get a laugh on sitcoms, which he felt all the time as a normal course of events because many people who teased him didn't realize how badly they were hurting him. This is what sitcoms are based on: put somebody down for a laugh, and this has pervaded the entire culture such that we got 4-year-old kids ranting, raving, hollering, and swearing like a bunch of professional wrestlers, rappers, or the cool dudes in movies who say "make my day" or "I'll be back," implying violence, vanity, and arrogance. It has resulted in a punky, sarcastic mindset where loud, arrogant mouths and people with loud personalities are considered cool. And then there's the whole superiority thing, the veneer of beautiful, rich people on TV doing frivolous things, having a great old time, while all the sucker plebe consumers watch and get brainwashed by it, trying to imitate it as the standard of cool and successful. It's kinda like if you watch one of them award shows. All these dressed up elitists are walking down the red carpet, and all these plebes are there watching from behind the security barrier. If these plebes did not give these so-called elitists this power by giving them attention, we would clearly see a bunch of pretentious people there by themselves, kinda like the emperor's new clothes phenomena. It's all a big put on, but we the people give them this power by buying into this stuff. If we didn't, it wouldn't mean anything, just a bunch of pompous asses impressed with themselves. The mass media at large, the entertainment industry, fiction TV shows, movies, and pop culture entertainment in general are all geared to sell themselves, so they create a phony illusion of glamour and call it the term Hollywood or some other select place like the fashion runways of New York, where we, the common people, are supposed to think there's something going on there. The fantasy is that there are cool, fascinating places out there where cool people, movie stars, pop stars, so-called supermodels, and other beautiful people are hanging out together as good friends, being glamorous, easy breezy, cool, happening, fashionable, frivolous, and fun. But the truth is that all entertainment related businesses are cutthroat. Everybody's insecure, worrying lest somebody more beautiful, talented, or vital topple them. All so-called celebrities are overrated people who got lucky, except for the very small minority of true originals who can make it on their own talents, somebody who creates his or her own act without interference by the suits in the corporate office. Music may be partially talent, partially luck. Sports is all talent, but acting is all luck, unless you happen to have the ability to write your own scripts or create your own shows/movies, because for every part, there are at least 1,000 people ready to play it, and the fact that some producer picks one face over another is pure luck, which is why virtually all actors are insecure as hell, because they know they just got lucky. They spew out lines in a movie or walk down a runway, and all of a sudden they're considered a fascinating human specimen, a star, one cut above the rest of humanity. Watch one of those tabloid TV shows and observe when they profile somebody plugging something, be it a TV show, movie, song, etc. They will be acting all cute, special, fashionable, creative, divinely inspired, superior and glamorous, then the easy breezy cool background disco type music will kick in to give the impression that there's something cool, happening, exciting, and advanced going on there. Then when it's all done and the camera goes away having gotten their media bit, it's just them in their mundane lives again, and if they don't have the sense to consciously create the inspiration within themselves day by day, they will live generic lives even though they put forth the pretense that they're glamorous, advanced people. This is the game, and the media consciously adds to the deception by creating a phony aura of glamour for the entertainment industry, since their job is to sell the stuff and report on it, since that's what they are too, entertainment. But for the true insiders creating the product, it's hard, tedious work, and for the supposed stars, it's pretense and worry as to when the public will push them aside for the next fresh new flake of the month. PitIMagIne.com questions fashion. The Hollywood image. People who have never been there think Hollywood and Beverly Hills are two cool, fascinating places where cool people are hanging out together. Hollywood as a zip code, around 90,028, and not an image, is a typical low-middle to middle-class mixture of commercial and residential real estate which happens to have stars embedded in some of the sidewalks. Beverly Hills is just like any upper-middle-class suburb with overpriced real estate, a bunch of isolated big houses where you rarely see a person walking on the sidewalk. And then when you go south of Wilshire Boulevard, you come across the commercial section with the overrated, overpriced shops around Rodeo Drive. It's a lie fed by the insiders trying to make it appear that it's more than it is. The several major studios where they make most of the TV shows and movies are big walled-in city block areas where people work hard to create a business product. There ain't no glamour there. It's business like business at any industrial park. If you go there looking for enlightenment and fame, you will find corporate capitalism. If you're extremely lucky, you will buck the odds and become flavor of the month for a while. Then you will be kicked to the curb when your show is cancelled or the public gets tired of you and be left to live your life day by day as it happens, unfazed by the phony aura of what they call glamour. There ain't any cool people hanging out anywhere being cooler than the rest of society. They're all hiding out in their homes watching soap operas just like everywhere else. Sunset Boulevard goes from the poor part of East LA, below Vermont Ave, through Hollywood, the Sunset Strip, Beverly Hills, Bel Air, Brentwood, Pacific Palisades, right down to the ocean. You can see it all in a 10-mile drive. Then once you've seen it, you realize that it's just a street like any another with a couple of big billboards near the nightclubs west of La Cienega. So what? People and life are the same everywhere. Some people try to live out the Hollywood wacky beatnik cool image, but by and large, it's just people trying to get by like everywhere else. Runaway kids go there looking for action only to find poverty and the regular drag of life like the towns from whence they came. The crime rate is high because of all the poor people with broken dreams looking to score any way they can, be it robbery, prostitution, pornography, or drugs. They try to make Sunset Strip out to be this cool place where cool people hang out, but it's just a string of bars around the number 10,000 district of Sunset Boulevard amongst other run-of-the-mill businesses in a commercial part of town plastered with billboards like in any other town, except that it's populated by mostly lost, lonely young folk looking for either love, sex, drugs, or some big movie mogul to spot them and make them a star. Venice Beach is just another beach with a string of overpriced shops and an open gym area with a weight room run by the city that you have to pay to use, called Muscle Beach, populated by mostly tourists, beatniks, homeless people, and the Santa Monica locals on the weekdays, then overcrowded on the weekends. You got your little ethnographic groups just like everywhere, the yuppie whites, the Hispanics, the blacks, the blue-collar whites, the locals, the hippies, the families, the seniors, the macho men, the beach babes, the wimps, the loudmouth teenagers, etc. It ain't like a bunch of fun, glamorous people having fun, sharing their love of life together. There are people down there hustling what they can so that they can get enough money to live a basic life. There's no place anywhere where all kinds of cool people are hanging out, having a great old fun, frivolous, glamorous friendly time. Most of them street entertainers hanging around looking cool and frivolous are barely getting by. All the rich people go about 10 miles north of Venice Beach on the PCH in a community called Malibu with mansions in the hills. If you go further north, there are wealthy towns like Oxnard and Santa Barbara, but there's nothing special going on there. It's just that the houses are bigger than other places. You create your life by how you live day by day. Once you got a bed, a bathroom, and a kitchen, everything else is extra. Where is paradise? Paradise doesn't exist day by day in the real world unless you create it yourself. Occasionally, something nice happens where people come together and have a good time, like maybe spring break in Florida, a good concert, New Year's Eve at Times Square, the motorcycle run in Sturgis, North Dakota, or your local church on Sunday. But life in the real world is a bunch of loners running around, effectively consciously doing their best to ignore each other out in public or putting on some social superficial face. This is life as it happens. You gotta create your own spark in the midst of all this. If you get rich and invite friends to share your good fortune into your home, on your boat, or by having big parties, sooner or later you find they don't really give a damn about you. They're just fair weather friends hanging out as long as the good times last. Then once the party's over, there will be no friends there to share the lean times, or more importantly, only your real friends will be there, the ones that will stay when you ain't got nothing to offer them. If you try to be good to people, some of them will abuse it, like try to steal from you, put out cigarettes on your floor, piss all over the place, etc. They either have some kind of animosity/jealousy to you, or just don't respect people in general. You can pay out a lot of money and go on a cruise, to a spot or to a resort where everybody's acting friendly and cool, but you gotta pay for it. It's not real. Do you think the people who go to the Playboy Mansion are fun people looking for a good time, or do they have other agendas? Where do you think the greatest concentration of gold diggers in the world is? If the publicly traded corporation is footing the bill for this place, it had better serve some purpose to the bottom line, hyped up publicity. It ain't exactly like sex, drugs, and rock and roll, seeing that the old man is dead set against drugs. There's no one cool, happening, enlightened place on the planet where people have easy breezy fun together without pretenses, especially without booze. Why? It's simple. Human nature starts at self-centered, then cycles over to good and evil as the mood hits. You gotta create fun and pleasure by your actions day by day. It doesn't matter where you are, it's you either by yourself trying to stay inspired, or with a few like-minded kindred spirit friends who all share the same ideas about life. A lot of people are prisoners of their egos and take their petty frustrations out on others. If you go to any tropical paradise like Hawaii or Fiji and read their local newspaper, you will see that they have the exact same problems as anywhere else: poverty, depression, aging, disease, jealous lovers, STDs, obesity, alcoholism, political corruption, high taxes, gas shortages, murder, capitalist ambition, etc. You can go to any nightclub and have a great old time dancing the night away, which is fun and good if you can find a club where everybody's on the same vibe, there for fun and friendship. But I've spent a good part of my youth working in nightclubs and saw my share of fights, theft and domestic violence. So in order to find a truly good, fun, peaceful place, you have to find a group of like-minded, free, easygoing type people and hang with them. But where is this Shangri-La? True easy breezy fun times with kindred spirits rarely exist out there in the so-called real world for longer than a few hours. You have to find your base within yourself, then find good friends who want to walk the same journey that you do, walk with them for a while, and that's as good as it gets.